Le premier événement a eu lieu en 2011 et il était organisé avec Giles Cooper du club VSCC en Angleterre et j'ai rejoint Vincent pour la deuxième édition à la suite d'une rencontre au Rétromobile où nous avons mis les fondations en place pour construire un événement qui est ce qu'il est aujourd'hui.
So, do you mind just real
Mon nom est Jean-Frédéric Fro et je suis le co-organisateur de l'événement avec Vincent Chamon.
My first experience of Montlhéry was a Canal Plus meeting. It was probably 30 years ago, I would say, and we had a fantastic time going to what was then probably the only historic meeting at Montlhéry. It was my first experience of visiting what was a quite emotional visit to a historic motoring venue, probably one of the most historic motoring venues outside Brooklands.
Well, I'm Martin Webb. I first went to Montlhéry in the late 1990s. More recently took my recreation of the very first production Morgan, a 1910 tiller-steered runabout. The first major race held at Montlhéry was the French Grand Prix in July 1925. However, the track had been officially opened the previous year when in October 1924 it hosted motorcycle and light car races. Roger Darmont, who was licensed to build Morgan three-wheelers in Paris, entered the very first of those early races. That very first race at Montlhéry was won by a Darmont, though the honours went to another Frenchman, Marcel Dome.
When you get in those cars and go around that circuit, it's really quite something else. I'm Chrissy Tebbit, and my role as passenger is looking out behind because he's concentrating on the track. And some of the other entrants are rather faster than us. It is really quite something special.
I'm Ian Patton, and I first went to Montlhéry, I'm not sure the exact date, but it was somewhere around 2013. I've been twice with my Morgan three-wheeler, and the last time I was there was in my 1923 Amel car. It is rare that you get to see the early motorcycles. In the UK, like in the States, there has been a long established practice of restoring vehicles. But when you go to Montlhéry, you see motorcycles, some wonderful marks from very early models, which are still unrestored in their original paintwork.
If you've got a car and you want to ride, say you take a ride with a gal by your side, up and down the 8-mile road.
Even the auto jumble is an extraordinary experience. The amount of stuff there, even though you might not be buying, it's still worth rambling around to see just what kind of stuff is still available. And you see things you'd never see anywhere else.
In the paddock, there are so many things that you can see that you wouldn't see anywhere else. So many different varieties of vehicles.
I'm Paul Tebbit. I enjoy seeing all the vehicles really. I mean there's such a mixture. I mean obviously the faster cars, but also equally fascinating are these somewhat primitive cycle cars that go around in another sessions. And that layout, I think I'm correct in saying it's been in the family since new, I think.
Ceux qui ont la voiture de sport ou de course, qui peuvent utiliser leur voiture dans des conditions de circuit, sans avoir à se pousser, à faire trop d'efforts pour gagner la course.
when you go to Monterey, you see cars you'll never see anywhere else. And the variety and the range of particularly the more peculiar French cars that you wouldn't otherwise see anywhere else always turn up to Monterey. And it isn't just the cars. The auto jumble's interesting, the motorcycles are interesting. The atmosphere is fantastic. And I think that's why going back to Monterey is so important, because they've had such a significant impact and effect on motorsport for the last over 100 years.
The Monterey racetrack is a very exciting oval to race, but it has a huge history and heritage, and that is evident when you get out onto the racetrack. It's probably one of the most historic tracks of those surviving from the early years.
The whole experience of Montlhéry is, I would say, unique because it's the history of the venue, which of course is 100 years this year.
It's run by enthusiasts, Freddie and Vincent, who they do it all on a shoestring.
Pour le moment, on a les idées. Après, à voir.
An event put on by enthusiasts for enthusiasts, and I think everyone should go if they possibly can. And yes, the youngsters, it's probably the only opportunity they will have to get that sort of experience.
Ceux qui font de la compétition, mais qui voudraient venir sur un circuit historique très spécial et rouler à leurs mains, sans la pression d'essayer de gagner. On va essayer d'abord de maintenir l'esprit du vintage, qui est un esprit très détendu, mais où les gens aiment apporter leur voiture et en apporter des nouvelles à chaque fois.